G'day, and welcome to ComicsMATE, your mates in comics from the land down under. I'm your host, Dean James, and today we're going to be going through a Bounding Into Comics article that shows that Aquaman 2 is probably gonna bomb. So let's jump right into it. By Josh Berger, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom flounders with critics, receives disappointing scores across the board. This is the way the DCEU ends, not with a bang, but a whimper. Review scores for James Wan's Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom are in, and they point to a fairly mediocre reception from critics. A sour, yet expected, Amber Turd.
What's happening to me? The next thing I know, I take a tumble, and there I am on the bed sheets, on Johnny's side of the bed, where I should not be. I mean, I shouldn't be on either side of the bed, I shouldn't be on any bed.
Send off to the DC universe. Kickstarted in 2013 by Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. Starring Jason Momoa in the role of King of Atlantis, the final entry in the DCEU has been met with middling to negative reviews, with a score of 44 on review aggregator site Metacritic, based on 25 critic reviews, 26 positive, 55 mixed, and 18 negative reviews. Not doing too good, and this is before the public even gets a hold of it. Giving the film a 7.5 out of 10, Robert Ebert's Matt Zoller Sites writes, Momoa is the best reason to see the movie. He's as alpha cool, even jerkish as a maverick action star can be, while also making you believe his character is fundamentally decent and knows when he's gone too far, and sincerely feels bad about it. So he's got range. I mean, sure, Jason Momoa was never the big problem with this movie. A lot of people like him. I mean, I like him well enough, but I wouldn't call him he's not a sell for me. You know, I'm not going to buy a ticket just because Jason Momoa was in it. 1 minute, Momoa will practically be doing his own smart alecky running commentary on the film he's in, and in the next, he'll weep bitter tears or scream out in anguish or vengeful fury over some dastardly action by a bad guy, as if he's acting in a silent movie melodrama with title cards. Slash Films' Rafael Montemoya gives the film a 7 out of 10, writing Aquaman the Lost Kingdom is not just a fun adventure, it also tries to tell an important story about the environment and how we are polluting our planet. Sadly, the film never goes hard enough with this idea, which gets bogged down on the plot and lore of Atlantis. See, this is actually something I've heard a lot about, and apparently it's not just Amber Heard that people need to worry about. Apparently the movie has a massive, far leftist, global warming, environmental pollution, people bad sort of message going on in it, and it's one of those things that people are just straight up sick of. A lot of people don't even think that this environmental stuff is even real, and the Just Stop Oil style people blocking off cars and roads and things in the middle of the street, they're not getting any positive message out at all. In fact, they're turning people against them. You guys let me know what you think. Granting Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom a score of 6 out of 10, IGN are usually massive shills too. So the fact that it's only getting middling scores from IGN shows that, like, this is probably a really, really bad movie. You all know IGN, nobody listens to them. Sometimes when a TV pilot doesn't do its job of grabbing your attention, you'll hear that you need to watch a few episodes before things get good. What? The first 30 to 45 minutes of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom are the cinematic equivalent of this phenomenon. See, like, I don't want to sit, like, if you don't have me in the first 20 minutes of a movie, you've lost me entirely. I'm not going to wait 30 to 45 minutes, that's half a movie, before it even gets interesting. Movies sometimes take a little while to get going, sure, but there's a bit more than story issues going on here. This isn't filling me with confidence, guys. This is not filling me with confidence. The Wall Street Journal's Amy Nicholson gave the movie a 5 out of 10. See, these are steadily getting lower and lower. She writes, Aquaman the Lost Kingdom, an intermittently daffy and dull sequel, picks up with our hero being bored senseless by his kingly duties. Arthur, his favoured name, prefers cage fighting to political negotiations, and audibly groans when he can't solve the situation with a punch. Nicholson continues, he and his wife, Mira, Amber Heard, have spawned an infant son. Water birth, obviously. I mean, like that even need to be said. They're literally Atlanteans. They're mer people. After which Mira disappears from the movie until the screenwriter David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick summons her. What? David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick? That's a name and a half, mate. Summons her repeatedly to pop up and save the day. So hold on. Not only did they not cut her out of the movie entirely, she seems to be prevalent. Like, she seems to be a main driving force of the movie. Yeah, despite disappearing, she comes back repeatedly to pop up and save the day. In an Aquaman movie, Aquaman is not saving the day.
I look around to my surroundings and all I could think was, why am I so dry?
A patronizing rinse and repeat. Screen Rant's Molly Freeman gives the film a 2.5 out of 5, declaring despite its thin story and ridiculous moments, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is an enjoyable enough superhero movie. It's fast-paced enough that I never had time to get bored, but forgettable enough to be considered a throwaway film. These are the more positive ones too, you know, like we're going from positive to negative as we go through this article. But this isn't filling me with confidence. This isn't making me want to go see the movie at all, you know? Nick Shager from the Daily Beast gave Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom a 4.5 out of 10. He said in his review, though its tale involves climate change and ends on a note of tolerance and togetherness, there's no substance to Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, whose creative bankruptcy is epitomized by a final declaration that dimply rips off Iron Man. So now we're ripping off other Marvel movies, are we? Okay. Cool. CNN's Brian Lowry gives the film a 4 out of 10. So even the far left media outlets that are supposed to be cheering this shit on are giving it low ratings and saying that it's not going to be good. Indeed, as disappointing DC sequels go, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom gives Wonder Woman 84 a run for its money. Wonder Woman 84 arguably the worst of all the DC movies. Although while the villains drag that 2020 film to its own depths, absence of freshwater foe creates different problems, lacking novel elements to distinguish this movie from its superior predecessor. And it goes on and on like this. Look, you got the Rap's William Bibiani gave it a 3.5 out of 10 in his review, declaring Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is a hacked up mess. And it's not just the editing, but boy is it also the editing. The film tediously recycles the plot of the original, with 2 characters switching places and another one cut out so haphazardly that it's genuinely embarrassing and hurts the whole film. Okay, so The Guardian, Peter Bradshaw, gave the film a 2 out of 10. In his review he wrote, I have often enjoyed superhero films, with all their surrealism, melodrama and comedy, and I actually liked the Marvels.
Black Girl Magic!
With Brie Larson. See, this guy's got no credibility. But there is no doubt about it, where the first Aquaman movie was in enough trouble, with Jason Momoa smirking his way through the story of Aquaman's undersea travails as if guesting on a lager ad, now we have a terrible sequel, again directed by James Wan, reportedly the final film in the DC Extended Universe, before James Gunn goes and reboots everything. I honestly don't think this movie ever stood a chance anyway. Like, they killed it before it came out, with James Gunn announcing a massive universe reboot before this movie was ever even released. So, the Telegraph's Robbie Collin gave the film a 2 out of 10 in his review. He wrote, some films are so stupid you can swear individual brain cells are dying as you watch them. Then there is Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, during which it felt like entire clumps of grey matter were giving up the gig in disgust and abseiling out of my ears. Damn, this is before the public even gets a hold of it too. These are the early reviews, so you're not going to go see this, are you? Let me know in the comments if you're still going to go see this, despite all of these things. With mere days to go until the turn of the calendar, here arrives the most numbingly moronic film of 2023. A second solo outing for Jason Momoa's beefy merman of the now disbanded 2010 screen incarnation of the DC's Justice League. You can't get past it. The fact that they're destroying the whole thing before the movie even came out, like they're just going to reboot the entire universe, is definitely starting off on the wrong foot. And then you get into the actual meat and potatoes of this movie, and it turns out that it's all about climate change and boosting of the Just Stop Oil message and shit like that. Like, no one wants this. Especially when it comes to a movie about Atlantis and stuff like that. Like, we want escapism in our movies. We don't want to be reminded of real-life political nonsense, whether you're left or right. Like, I know most people just want to be entertained. And even more disappointing critic consensus can be found on Rotten Tomatoes, which, you can't really trust Rotten Tomatoes anymore. They protect half the movie, you know, like the chosen movies they protect from what they call review bombing, but at the same time, if people don't like it, people don't like it, you know. Where the DCEU's most recent endeavour is officially certified rotten with a 36%. Currently, audience score 77, and these... So you got to remember, with the 77, you're like, oh, maybe it's not that bad, maybe it's just the critics being assholes. But this isn't actually out yet in the public. The 77% of people that would have seen this movie so far and liked it and wanted to go were the DC superfans, the people that were always going to go see Aquaman regardless of what happened. They either love Jason Momoa or Amber Heard or Fish. The fact of the matter is the highest number they can get to is 77%. Shows that even some of those guys were just like, oh, this isn't very good. It's just okay. Which means once it gets into the hands of the public, that number is going to drop significantly. Toronto Star critic Peter Howell gave it a 1 out of 4 in his review, writing 2 questions needed answering going into the monumental eyesore that is Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. The first, how bad could it be? The answer? Extremely bad. The CGI-drenched movie isn't so much being released as it is being allowed to wash up on shore. There wasn't even a red carpet premiere for it. The second, how much of Amber Heard has been cut out of it? Answer, a lot. She's been reduced from Jason Momoa's co-star to cameo status, which, in my opinion, still too much Amber Heard. Nobody wants Amber Heard, nobody likes Amber Heard. She's a monster, she abuses her partners and things.
I'm Amber Heard's boo.
She's just terrible. Stop giving her work, straight up. Slant Magazine's Justin Clark gave the movie a 2 out of 4 in his review. He wrote, James Wan's Aquaman The Lost Kingdom is a minimum viable product, plopped into the theatre with an apathy as pervasive and all-encompassing as the ocean itself. These are damning reviews from like the very get-go. Again, this is before the public gets a hold of this stuff, so it's not looking good. And it continues like this. Newsday's Rafa Guzman gave the film a 1.5 out of 4. Opening his review with a quote from the movie, they say everybody's good at something. Me, I talk to fish.
I've got friends coming over tonight.
These lobsters walked right up to the door. Anyone hungry?
The Johnsons!
And noting, that's the opening joke of Aquaman and Lost Kingdom, which depending on your level of loyalty to Jason Momoa's title character, will either tickle your funny bone or fall flat as a flounder. I gotta admit, it didn't even make me smirk then. I was reading it like, what? Is that a real line? I feel like starting off with a joke that puts down the main hero of the story, even if it is just like a little wink wink nudge nudge sort of kick down, we've come a long way since Aquaman was thought of as the guy who talks to fish.
That is it. That is it.
The first Aquaman movie did a lot of work to make it not seem like that. To make him seem like a genuine hero who had some actual powers and things like that. Chicago Sun-Time Richard Roper gives the movie a 2 out of 4, and he said, with overused needle drops such as Born to be Wild and Spirit in the Sky on the soundtrack, Aquaman The Lost Kingdom is filled with the usual array of video game-looking battle sequences, while the great-looking cast seems to be going through the motions as if they're as exhausted as we are with the DCEU, and they know it's time for everyone to move on and make way for the new DC studios. I agree with that, but at the same time, I'm not exactly excited about new DC studios. I feel the same feeling that I did towards DCEU as I do for the new DC studios. There's the lineup outside of Superman and the one Batman movie looks very generic and mediocre. And I'm going to give it all a go, of course, because I'm a comic book nerd. But at the same time, none of this is filling me with confidence. It seems like behind the scenes at Warner Brothers, they are just scattering to do anything they can before the inevitable death of superhero movies. Got another one, 2.5 out of 4. He wrote, with rival Marvel at a bit of a crossroads, sure, especially with the weight of its dropping of actor Jonathan Majors. Oh, I forgot about that. Screw that guy. DC, which has suffered its own woes with The Flash, Blue Beetle, and Shazam! Fury of the Gods in 2023, gets a chance to end the year on a high. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom might not be all that bad, but it might not be all that, but it keeps its trident high even as the sea reclaims its hero. I mean, he looks great. Look at that shit. He looks great. But he also looks like a Green Lantern. That's Jon Stewart, man. That's just Jon Stewart Green Lantern right there.
In brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light!
Screen Crush, another one of the more prominent websites, gives it a 5 out of 10. A lot of people seem to just be on like this mid. It seems like a very mid movie. The Messenger's Jordan Hoffman gives the movie a 6.1. That's a little bit nicer. It has been the butt of jokes for decades. Aquaman's primary power is that he can converse with watery creatures. With Aquaman The Lost Kingdom, a movie that has suffered several delays, a weirdly salacious lawsuit, and represents the fizzled out final chapter in a ripcorded series, the King of Atlantis ended up in communion with a lame duck.
Hey, bump, bump, bump. Got any grapes?
The Independent's Clarice Lowry gave the film a 1 out of 5. She wrote, Aquaman and The Lost Kingdom is the latest entry in the rogues gallery of brainless franchise films. It is yet another reminder that cinema is locked in a corporate chokehold, robbing artists of the ability even to flail about in style anymore. Can't say I'm surprised, honestly, with all the back and forth. This movie was supposed to be released last year, wasn't it? Warner Brothers don't know what they're doing. Unlike the MCU, Marvel Studios had their own thing. They weren't owned by anyone until Disney bought them out, but they were their own thing. Like, DC was always a subsidiary of Warner Brothers, so they never had their own thing. You know, Warner Brothers is off making Godzilla and, you know, like other movies the whole time. So the fact that this is it's in a corporate chokehold, as they say, the fact that it's locked in a corporate chokehold does not surprise me in the slightest. The New York Post, John Oleksinski, gives the movie 1.5 out of 4. He wrote, by the end of the movie, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, it's pretty clear that the King of Atlantis is about to become a fillet of fish. Not because Aquaman dies or anything like that, but you can tell from every second of the sequel just how disinterested DC Studios is in this film and in the future of this character. This is all damning. This is truly damning, guys. Like, if somebody in the comments still wants to see this movie, let me know. Like, try and give me hope for this, because I genuinely like Aquaman, and I'm a big fan of Black Manta too. He does look great, not gonna lie. But just last week, Moa discussed the fate of the Aquaman franchise, revealing that it is not looking good for the King of Atlantis, and that it would ultimately be the audience reception to Aquaman Lost Kingdom that would potentially help its chances. So, looks like this is going to be the last Aquaman movie for a while, guys. The truth of it is, I mean, if the audience loves Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, then there's a possibility. But right now, I'm like, it's not looking too good. But he looks jacked. Franchise future is in even more trouble, as Aquaman Lost Kingdom was reportedly on track for a disappointing opening weekend, a 4-day Christmas weekend no less, predicting that Warner Brothers and DC's latest DCEU endeavor would see it debuting with a disappointing domestic box office of a mere $40 million. That's worse than the Marvels, isn't it? Which is a catastrophic bomb.
Black girl magic!
The film's only set to take in a rough estimate between 75 and 80 million internationally, making its debut in 73 markets that even include China, and likely to end up making 110 million all the way through to Sunday. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom production budget is $205 million, requiring the film to, at the very least, end its theatrical run with final box office of 500 million just to break even. Something that looks even less likely after seeing the reception it had with the critics. So are you still excited about Aquaman 2? Do you think it's going to bomb, or do you think it's going to be some sort of miracle success? Let me know down in the comments, and subscribe if you're new here. And don't forget to hit that like button.